What's going on YouTube and my Marvel Rivals community? It's your boy Fly Mark, and today we're going to be discussing the greatest superhero of all time, Spider-Man. I'm going to be giving tips and advice while showcasing high-ranked gameplay. I'm currently GM3 in Season 2, and hopefully my audience can leave this video with more intricate knowledge on the character so we won't tilt our teammates when choosing the GOAT. So first things first, I wanted to go over my settings. There's some important ones in here that's essential for Spider-Man gameplay. So as you can see, I have my horizontal sensitivity tuned up to 150. This is so I can be able to snap around quickly because you're moving fast with Spider-Man, so you need to be able to keep track of your targets at a quick rate. But this is subjective. You can play any sensitivity you want, but I will advise you that you want your reaction timing to be quick and precise when playing Spider-Man. As for my web swing settings, I have hold to run on walls turned off, and I have automatic swing turned off as well. Now these settings are crucial because with automatic swing turned on, Spider-Man will just zip to any surface that's closest to him. And we want to be able to utilize our full character control with Spider-Man. Playing Spider-Man with automatic swing turned on is like playing a whole different game. As for hold to run on walls, this setting is turned off because if it's turned on, Spider-Man is just gonna zip into a wall and then just face plant there. Like, you're dead at that point. And with this setting turned off, Spidey won't just stick to any surface. You'll be in full control of when he runs on a wall. And the last important setting is your get over here targeting. I have the get over here skill set to my right stick. It's preference based on whichever you want to set your buttons to, but you need to make this change so your right bumper is reserved strictly for your web pulls. With this setting change, you aren't limited anymore to just using your homing attack after you pull a web tracer. You can also do a web pull after using your web tracers. Okay, so the first tip and probably the biggest one are health packs. Health packs, health packs, health packs. To play Spider-Man, you need to know the health pack locations on every map. This is very important. It's important because you're playing with the fastest character in the game. You can get in and out of fights very quickly, so you can't always rely on trying to get to your healers to heal you. You need to go find those health packs to be able to help your team mid-fight. And for disengaging, you don't want to be at 75 health swinging around looking for a healer because somebody's just going to crack you out the air. You one tap, you know? You don't want to get caught in that situation. And on these maps, these health packs are everywhere. So just take some time and practice just looking around these maps, finding the health packs, looking for their locations, the closest ones to you around points, because you're going to need these. So the next tip we're going to discuss is rollouts. So what's a rollout for a Spidey player? A rollout is how quick you can get from spawn to whatever objective you playing, be that domination or pushing the payload. So I'm not going to act like I have the best rollouts for every single map as Spider-Man. There's plenty of guides and accessible videos for people to teach you on the best, quickest rollouts for every single map, but what I do know is that the quicker you can get into a team fight or back into the team fight determines your value for Spider-Man. Because we squishy and die pretty easily. We don't get shields or any of that. All Spider-Man mains know this, so our mobility is our best friend. And if you're not using that mobility to get in and out of team fights quickly, making your presence known, then you're not using Spider-Man's toolkit to its highest degree. So quick rollouts are essential if you plan to use this character. So the next big tip I'd like to discuss is bunny hops. I'm sure you've all fought a Spider-Man that decides to disengage and zips away 100 meters at the speed of light. Now the bunny hop is essential. You are not playing Spidey right if you do not have this technique learned. There's plenty of guides and tutorials that'll teach you how to do this, but I'll show you what it looks like right here. So you're basically shooting a web zip at the ground, but before Spidey reaches his target destination, you want to shoot a web shot. And if done correctly, you'll keep the same momentum that you gained during your initial web zip. Now I was playing Spidey before I learned the bunny hop tech. Let's just say don't be me. Don't make my mistakes and throw your teammates ranked games, because that's all you'll be doing. You can't get away fast enough and you'll be CC'd before you can escape. So you need to learn bunny hopping. And for our next tip, we're going to be talking about positioning. Now positioning is important for every hero in the game. Each and every hero and position is important. Every hero plays a role. We have support, tank, DPS. Tanks stay in front to absorb damage and create distractions for the DPS to get their kills in. DPS probably play the middle ground. It depends for each character, you know. Some DPSs are meant for different things. Flank DPS, long range DPS, etc. So your positioning will vary on characters with your DPS. Support, always stay in the back. Your kit, depending on which support you're using, you could probably push up a little bit more, but your position should always be behind the team if you're a support player. Spider-Man is a flank DPS. That means our mission is to get behind enemy lines and pick off healers from where they can't see us. Now, some Spider-Men have more balls than others and can still give good value, while you can see them on the front lines, but I tend to judge a good Spider-Man player based on how many times I can see you during a match. The best Spider-Man, in my opinion, are the ones that you don't see until your supports are dead. And then he has the freedom to make his appearance because at that point he's just taking the trash out with the rest of his team. Which brings us to our next topic, staying in team fights. As a Spider-Man, you don't want to leave your team fighting in a 6v5 situation. And this is where it gets tricky because one could argue that chasing a support is essentially creating a 6v5 for your team if the support is distracted with you and not healing their teammates. But if you can't secure that kill, then it's basically just a 5v5 in which you haven't created value. So to maximize your value, I would advise that you secure the kill on the support as quick as possible. If you can't secure that kill, then disengage and reload your cooldowns and try again immediately. And once you've killed one support, the second should be easy pickings. Once you've secured eliminations on both supports, that's when you can start targeting the DPS remaining. Do not fight tanks. Unless you see one tank being surrounded by 3 other teammates, that's the only reason you should be able to jump into a tank fight. But if you follow my advice thoroughly, then the tank should be the only targets remaining anyways, and at that point your team is at an advantage. Another Spider-Man advantage that's overlooked and great for staying in team fights is using your web pools accurately. Now, the web pool is obviously best used for yanking enemies off the map, but another great use for it is yanking a tank out of position towards your team. That's why it's really important to have your get over here and your web pool on 2 different buttons. I haven't tested it myself yet, but I'm sure the web pool range is about 20 meters. I'm sure y'all have seen those clips of Spider-Man flying through and yanking people off the map from 100 meters away. This might be a hot take, but I think you can only do that on PC. All of those clips I've seen that happen in is on PC gameplay. I have yet to see anyone do this on console. I'm a PlayStation 5 player. I haven't had anybody do one of those crazy web pulls like from across the map on console. I've yet to see it. So if you're on PC, I advise you to really learn how to do this. But us console players, I think we're a little bit limited to our web pulls. But if you can still pull it off on console, please show me how to do it because I've tried it and I fail at it. And this is why Spidey is a 5-star difficulty character. Because you have to be thinking about all of these different toolkits, all of these advantages, and positioning all at once to be able to make value out of this character. That's why Spidey needs a buff for real. But we're not going to talk about that. Actually, I am going to talk about it for a second. I can get so much value out of easier characters doing way less. Like if I'm using Star-Lord or Mr. Fantastic, I'm putting in sometimes even more value than I would put in as Spider-Man while thinking way less, you know? But he is just so fun that I will willingly put my brain in overdrive just to get 30 kills. Like that is so much easier with a whole bunch of other DPS. But now we're gonna move to the next tip, counters. Generally, Spider-Man's biggest counters are Penny, Namor, Scarlet Witch, and the Winter Soldier. Now, Penny is a problem because the supports are just gonna hover around her nest. And if you try to get a pick off the support while they're in the nest, well, that's just an insta-death. So please, for the love of God, shoot the nest. Next, we're going to talk about Namor, this easy mode character. All you got to do is just throw a Squiz. His Squiz is going to do the work for him. Even worse if he has the Gamma Teamup. Personally, I can deal with the Namor without the Gamma, but you're still going to just have a way harder time trying to get that value. And it's already a hard enough time trying to get value with Spidey. Now on the Scarlet Witch, the super duper easy mode character. All you got to do is just look at somebody, press right trigger. Now, she's easy to deal with 1v1 or if you catch her off guard, but if they brought her out specifically to counter you, you're not going to have a good time. She's just going to be following you around, lasering you like a little mosquito. And finally, we have the Winter Soldier. He's not oppressive as the other 3, but a cracked Winter Soldier could definitely pull you mid-swing. And once you're pulled by a good Winter Soldier, it's a wrap. He's going to 3-hit you with his little combo and it's over. So if the enemy team has rolled out any of these characters, I'd advise just choosing a different hero because it's hard enough getting value out of Spidey. Now you got to play the game on impossible difficulty. So now we're on to our next tip, correct ult usage. And one thing we never want to do is solo ult. What's a solo ult, you ask? A solo ult is when you use your ultimate attack on just one enemy. And this isn't a tip for just Spider-Man players, this is a tip for any damage-based ultimate. And with Spider-Man's ult, you always want to keep an eye on healer ults and healer utilities. So for example, of healer utility, if Loki plants his invincibility runes down, you definitely don't want to be flying in doing your ult when you see those on. And same with any support ult. You want to be patient when you're playing Spider-Man. You got to wait out these support ults. So as soon as you see one done, you might think it's a good opportunity to go in and use your ult, but you might bait the second support to use their ult as well. And in some cases, this is a good thing. Even if you can't secure your kills with your ultimate, you can still bait out a support ult, which can still be a game changer for your team. But the sweetest Spidey ults come when you've waited out both of those support ults and you're in the middle of a team fight and those supports are just waiting for you to swing down on them. And then you could probably get at least 2 to 3 picks. And if your team is synergizing with you well, you're probably just going to ace that fight and clear out the whole game. So to round it up, my main advice for Spidey ults would be patience. And don't be down on yourself if you can't secure the kills with your ult. If you were able to draw out a support ult, then that was just as successful. And since my last 2 tips are pretty much intertwined, I'm just going to put them together. It's going to be your bread and butter combos for Spidey and your Venom team up. So what's a bread and butter combo? This is just going to be your go-to combo for any type of interaction you're going to be getting into with this character. So whenever you're using this character trying to secure your kill, you're just going to be doing the same thing over and over until you do so. Now, Spider-Man has a lot of advanced tech and combos, which require a lot of animation canceling, but for today's topic, I'm going to just stick to the easiest one that anybody can get along with. So the easiest combo, in my opinion, to secure a kill on a 250 target would be 2 web shots, followed by a get over here, followed by an uppercut, followed by 2 more web shots. That should be enough to kill your target and one of the easier combos to learn. But for more advanced combos, you're going to be integrating Spidey's overhead swing a lot more often, which can only be activated after doing a double jump. And that requires the animation canceling that I spoke of earlier. There's plenty of guide videos for these animation cancel combos, but I can always make a combo video myself if my audience wanted me to. And finally, we're going to discuss the Venom Teamup. Now, the Venom Teamup is amazing because it transforms your 5 to 6 hit bread and butter combo to just a 4 hit bread and butter combo. So instead of the previous combo that I outlined to y'all, this combo is only going to take you 4 inputs, which is going to be your web shot, into get over here, into uppercut, into Venom explosion. That should kill any 250 HP target. And if it doesn't kill, hopefully your target hasn't gotten killed by this time, then it's still going to leave them with enough HP to where you can just breathe on them to secure your limb. When you're playing with the Venom, you don't want to just rely on this combo. You want to try to coordinate with Venom's dives as much as possible. Because when Venom slams down on his targets, he takes about 25% of their HP, to which you can just easily follow up and finish that kill. Now, while Spidey is my favorite hero in the game, I'm viable with a multitude of characters. I don't necessarily insta-lock him as much as I did when I was learning him, but boy, when I see somebody choose a Venom on my team, oh man, that got me rubbing my hands like Birdman. I'm about to cook. Especially if that Venom knows what they're doing. If you're playing with a good Venom, y'all have the same goals and objectives. So you and your Venom are basically thinking the same, ready to coordinate without even having to communicate. We on that twin timing. We on that shooter-torty twin timing. That's what my Mob Psycho boys out there. I know y'all don't know about that. Mob Psycho the GOAT. Or one of the GOATs. But yeah, I'm yapping. Anyways, take advantage of that Venom Teamup whenever you see it possible if you want to play Spidey. It's going to be even more fun for you. Make your job way easier. But yeah, man, to wrap things up, those are my most important tips for Spider-Man. He's a 5-star difficulty character for a reason. He takes a lot of learning, a lot of tech to keep in mind. It's like you got to be on Adderall playing this character. Like, it's no joke. You have to, it's so much work. There's a whole bunch of easier DPS out there that you can get a lot of value in for less work. But he is just so much fun that it just makes it worth it, I'm sure everybody can relate. That's why we got a whole bunch of Spideys out there who'll sell the team and not switch. Not me, though. You got to switch as your Spider-Man. That's Spidey blasphemy if you just out here playing bad and not swapping. Stop throwing teams. Stop throwing for your teams. But yeah, obviously, I'm not the best Spidey player in the world. I ain't no Necros or nothing like that. But I'd say I'm good with the character. A lot of times, whenever I choose him, I'm going to change the game for my team. And the only way I'll, lose or make or be forced to swap is if the whole team is going to counter and are solely focusing me, But other than that, it's never a Spidey game that I play where I'm not effective. And KDA isn't the end-all be-all for Spider-Man. In my opinion, I feel like if you were effective enough to make the team see you as a threat and you didn't have to swap, then you've done your job as Spider-Man. Whether you had a crazy kill game or even if you had a low kill game, they were thinking of you. They were turning around, peeling for you, and they had to turn their heads, and that's what got them killed by your squad. For all of my Spidey-mans out there watching this, if I left something out in the video, leave a comment, let me know something. I'm very happy to discuss anything I could have missed. We love this character, and it's always something new to learn about this character in this game, always some new tech. And if you made it this far, I appreciate y'all for sticking with me, and I love all my support. Honestly, y'all, I have run out of stuff to talk about in this video. and this one took me a long time to edit. So I'm gonna just let y'all enjoy the gameplay. You know, it's about 3 more minutes left, and I appreciate y'all for even doing that. I am done with editing this mug. Like this video and subscribe if you want to see some more content from your boy, and I'm out of here. Peace out.
Better than Aunt May's chicken soup. Count on me. In the swing of things. Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man! Got your back. Put some pep in my step.